Hi, welcome to the first YouTube video with me actually speaking and talking about the project. Uh, the earlier clips are from this car. That is it was a VR6 turbo 4motion. It still is, but that car is getting a new engine. I recently did a DQ500 swap in this car, and that didn't go as planned. It was, yeah, I got it to work, but it took all the fun out of that car. So now it's getting a new engine, 2.8 24 valve bottom end with R32 head. So yeah, and also MQ500 for that car. This, however, is the car that we're going to talk about. This is a Mark 1 Caddy. It's been in my possession, or my dad's possession, for 12 years or something, I think. He never drove it, but it had a 2-liter Passat engine. It's a 91, the GT model. Yeah, it's quite a long story about this car, but I used it when I didn't have my own car. It was stock in every way, form possible. And then after 2012, I believe, it just sat in a field at my parents' house. So I decided the car was in really good shape. It had basically no rust. It had a few dents and dings and yeah, some body work that needed to be done. But I thought to myself, this would be the perfect drag and drive car. Drag and drive in the means of it's not going to be a really fast car. It's more just for fun. I'm not going to build this to be competitive in any way. Just, yeah, it's a fun car. And I did run the Mark II in Street Week. You can see 2022 Street Week Racer. That didn't work. Yeah, the car held up. I blew a transmission, and yeah, hauling all the tools, the spare parts, everything in a trailer wasn't for me. It was really annoying having a trailer on the car. So I thought a Caddy would be awesome because it has a bed. So that in mind, I want a bed cover on this car so I can have spare parts and my suitcase. Yeah. Sorry, my first language is not English, so bear with me. There will be some hiccups here and there while I get used to speaking again. I made these bars are detachable, so I can just pull it out. That is because I want a bed cover, and I don't want those bars to get in the way. So the cage in this car, it has a roll cage. It's made by a company called Finesse, with some slight modifications because this cage is basically for a Mark 1 Golf. So it's shorter, and this bar right here is custom for this car, the harness bar, because I wanted the seat as far back as possible because it's not much room in these cars. And also I've kept the stock rails for the seats. I also made a bracket or a seat mount for a racing seat, but it can also accommodate their stock seat because the rails are still there. when driving, I want a stock seat. I don't want to sit in a racing seat because it sucks. And like I said, this car will have a VR5 turbo engine. Pretty unusual with a VR5, but yeah, I felt nobody's done it, so I might as well try it. I like the sound of the 5-cylinder, but it's not possible to fit a straight 5-cylinder in this, an inline 5-cylinder in this engine bay. So I made, this is a custom mount for the MQ500 transmission, with also a custom mount on the transmission that I also made. I'm using the stock Mark 1 engine mount this side with a heavily modified Epitech mount, because everything you buy from Epitech doesn't fit. So yeah, the steering rack is lowered about 30 millimeters to accommodate the prop shaft. The prop shaft is from a Mark 6 Golf, and funny story, that prop shaft is bolt on. No need to shorten, no need to do anything. And yeah, this is a prototype kind of extension for the shock absorbers. I want some more travel. I don't like how the Mark 1s feel with coilovers. So I'm trying to build something to make it have a little bit more travel. These are the coilovers. These are ST coilovers, apparently made from the same company that makes KV shocks. This car has a Mark II Golf Synchro subframe in the rear. I made some mounts, but yeah, they're right now being used by the rollers that I had when we painted the car. So yeah, I'm in the process of removing it right now and fitting the rear subframe and getting the car on its wheels for the first time. I also made some custom rear shock towers, basically the same height between the rear trailing arms and the shock tower as a standard Mark II. I've taken all the measurements from that car because yeah, it already has the synchro rear subframe in it. However, it's a VR6 subframe, but yeah, it has basically the same measurements. So the idea is this car is supposed to use as much similar parts as that car. So I don't have to have everything custom for it. So the same shocks, same drive shafts in the back, CV joints. However, in the front I can't make the axles quite the same because the Mark II uses a VR6 Plus chassis, so that will be I don't think the front drive chassis will be the problem anyway. Yeah. So share as many parts as possible. So this is also something I've been working with. This is a bypass valve. The Mark 1 just have a single line going into it with a turn-off valve, and that won't work with modern engines. So this, I believe, was it a Ford or Ford Explorer maybe? Bypass valve. So what this is, it loops, when you close it, it loops around. So you will still have circulation to the engine because the water going into the heater core will come directly from the head, and you can't just block that off. Yeah, what else? Yeah, this brake booster is a Mark IV, and it's sitting on a shortened Mark I mount. I just think these look better than the stock ugly Mark I units. The brake cylinder is from a Transporter T4. I don't know the size, but I believe it's 25 millimeters or something. I've recently done up the clutch, as it's a hydraulic unit now, a custom mount made by me. Also the drive-by-wire. This car will be on a ECU Master black standalone, same as this car. I've never had an issue with running ECU Master products before, so yeah, I like it, and it's a affordable unit, and it can do basically everything I want it to do. Have some parts that are waiting to be mounted. Transmission, and here the engine. Looks kind of weird, but it will be interesting to see how it holds up. This is just basically a test version. I'm building another engine that has pistons from forged pistons from an R32. So the next engine will be a 84 millimeter bore. The only thing this engine has is basically some H-beam rods, integrated engineering. Yeah, nothing special. Gapped rings, stock compression. The head has been checked the valves, changed some stems. Nothing special at all. I'm just gonna throw a lot of boost at it and see what happens. The thing I'm most interested in is how this car will sound, because of the manifold I built. It's not done by any means. This is just basically a mock thing, because when I place the turbo, but the manifold is in itself is in its final form. It has equal length headers, so I hope to maybe make it sound more like an inline 5 more than a VR5. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate the VR sound, but I think it will sound pretty special. I made something similar for that car a few years ago, and it sounded awesome. So yeah, I hope it will be nice. Don't mind all the crap on the floor. It's kind of hard keeping it tidy when you have two cars at the same time. This is the intake. It's from Krabby Fab in Estonia. Yeah, Estonia. Billet flange. It has a billet flange there with velocity stacks inside. You can barely see it. Not finalized in welding, because I want to get the engine in again and see if it's possible that I can maybe fit a smaller radiator in the front, because right now I made the decision to move the radiator, so the radiator will sit right about there. I'm not convinced that it will work. It has a pretty large fan, and but I believe at a standstill it won't be a problem. But when driving, I'm not sure that the radiator will get enough air. So yeah, we'll see. Kind of wanted to paint the valve cover in the same color as the car. Looks good, I think. Yeah, I don't know what else to say right now. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and I will do my best to make some more updates. I'm planning on having the engine and transmission back in the car maybe next week, and then I can start with making the standalone wiring harness. And first of all I have to make the brake lines. I think I will make the brake lines this weekend, because I'm getting the new calipers and brackets early next week, so I need to have the brake lines ready. The brakes will be stock Mark II G60 calipers with VR6 5-bolt. The car will be 5-bolt. It has VR6 Passat 35i discs, so the same offset as the Mark II G60 or the Passat G60 or something. Yeah, so yeah. Oh, and this car will donate the rear brakes to this car, and this car will get some larger 288 millimeters in the back with R32 32 calipers. I have the discs and the adapters. I just haven't had time to mess with it, because this car is priority right now. Thank you for watching.